A concrete example. This morning, as I got up to come to this interview, there was a street person who had decided to try to camp on the stairs out of the rain. He obviously had nothing with him and was just asleep, sitting up. And I went to get a muffin and to say good morning and to leave it to him, and he wasn't even able to wake up. Here we are talking, and yet right now there is so much suffering, and what do the religious have to do with it?
Well, fortunately there are. For example, in the Sufi order we have a group of people in Atlanta who are organizing soup kitchens on a very large scale and also trying to encourage churches to give shelter to the homeless. But of course you know the problem, because some of the women in those shelters are raped. Children are being molested. The place is filthy, damaged.
So it isn't real care.
That's right. It's got to be staffed better. So there's a way of doing it, but the way it is now is people prefer sleeping in Central Park, but now it's dangerous to sleep in Central Park in New York. So, you know, the state of affairs in the world is terrible. I was very impressed by seeing people sleep in the streets in India when I was 10 years old, but at least it's warm there. What people are putting up with in America is the homeless are putting up with. They lose their self-esteem. They don't dare apply for a job because they know they're going to be turned down and they don't want to be humiliated again. Terrible.
Supposedly we've looked to religions for answers to solve some of those problems.
Well, some of the people who are working in these to help out are very highly religious people.
I read once that religion and science have to stand on trial before the bar of human need, that they've got to recognize and deal with the world or it isn't real.
It's not real. That's right. People are basking in belief systems and dogmas and rituals and things like that and authority figures and so on. And during that time people are suffering and not much is being done to alleviate their suffering. The man who's organizing these things, his name is Bowling in Atlanta. He said, but the real problem is in the psyche of these people, is talking to them. And
the psyche?
Yes, in helping them to validate their self-esteem and showing how one should never base one's self-esteem on one's success or failure in life. In fact, that is the message of Christ.
On what then?
On your discovering the sacredness of the human status. And that's what religion is about.
No matter what happens in life?
Yeah, that's the strength. That is the strength behind religion. And that was the message of Christ. The message of Christ was, you know, those words, blessed are the poor in spirit. They were badly translated. The real words were, now the real translation is, be ye of good cheer, you who are broken in life. So it was like he wanted to demonstrate by his own life that a defeat could avert itself to be a victory. Because it was a terrible defeat. I mean, everybody let him down before the crucifixion, even his closest disciples. And yet that greatest of all defeats averred itself to be one of the greatest victories the world has ever known.